I was assistant principal at Tobinville High School. That's where I met Sister Marilyn Ayala. She had the vision for a health center in this community, and I worked with her at Tobinville High School for a number of years. Mr. White, as I indicated, we interviewed him. He is a superb leader. As a matter of fact, I nominated him and he was awarded one of the best CEOs in the nation. He won the Aaron Brown Award, and we're very, very appreciative of his work and effort on behalf of the people in this community. I had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. White when he applied for this position. Dr. Yvonne Kennedy, Dr. Charles Henson and I made the interview, and we were very pleased with the results, and we were very pleased to have Mr. White as the executive director of Franklin Clinic. Let me thank Mr. White for his leadership and his dedication and his compassion for healthcare for the people that Franklin serves. I also like to thank Sister Marilyn Ayala for her vision as it relates to Franklin Clinic.
I knew Franklin existed, but I thought it was for people that really wasn't for me, actually, until I got on the board, and then I found out it's for everybody. And in 2008, I actually became a user. And then one of the big things too is that I have clients that come here, and when you become a board member, they put your picture in the lobby. And I would have people to call the office and say, hey, look, I see you on the board at Franklin. That's where I go. And they were saying as though they were proud to use Franklin. So I looked, I said, most people, if they go someplace and they're not getting good service and they see somebody that they feel can be of influence, they're gonna let you know the bad stuff. And I've not had not one person since I've been on the board in 2006 that has came to me with negative stuff. It's all been positive. I would just like to say that, Mr. White has put Franklin on the map as far as Mobile and the surrounding area, Baldwin County, Southeast Alabama, and also nationally. He's known with the National Association of Community Health Centers. He's well known there, and he's just really partnered with the community to help Franklin grow. And he moved here, became a part of the community, and he has really made a difference in a lot of people's lives, including myself. People that know him, even my wife, says that this position for Mr. White is a mission and a passion. I guess he's talked about retiring at least about 3 times since I've been on the board. And he talks about it, we kind of set it up, then it goes away, and the time that he puts in, it's a mission for him. This is a love for him, and from the history that I've heard of when he came here, I think he said they had maybe 5 employees, and it has grown to several sites. I guess last I count was close to 300 employees, and even though he's talked about retiring, he is still looking to grow the organization. Happy Founders Day and 50th anniversary Franklin Primary Health Center. Thank you, Mr. White, for all you have done for Franklin Primary Health Center and the Mobile and surrounding area in Southeast Alabama, and also for the national movement for community health centers. Thank you.
My years in Mobile as an educator at Most Pure Heart of Mary High School and in medical school at the University of South Alabama were a gift I will always treasure. It was a gift given to me by my religious community, the Dominican Sisters of Sinsinawa, Wisconsin. who sent me to teach at Heart of Mary when I was hardly 25 years old. 10 years later, they approved my application to medical school and financially supported my years of training. Equally important and God's gift were the people of the Davis Avenue, now Martin Luther King Jr. community, many of whom I knew as students and families of Heart of Mary. The families included the Franklins and the Finleys. I really never knew Dr. Franklin, but I knew of his history of service to the Davis Avenue community and beyond. Dr. Franklin's legacy of medical care and the continued need for care motivated me to attend medical school and reopen the Franklin Clinic 50 years ago. I will always remember with profound gratitude Mrs. Evelyn Franklin Finley, Dr. Franklin's daughter, who wholeheartedly supported my effort and allowed the use of Dr. Franklin's clinic. Charles White and his staff have, with God's grace, successfully managed the original little clinic over these past 50 years into a huge multi-specialty facility, as well as establishing other medical facilities throughout Mobile and surrounding areas. It is Mr. Charles White who deserves the accolades on this anniversary. On a personal note, Charles has, throughout the years, been so gracious to me, and I count him a dear friend. As you may know, by the time I finished medical school and residency, Franklin was prospering. Through the grapevine, I was made aware of a great need in the state of Mississippi. I received a call from the Bishop of Mississippi to serve in the Delta area, and I was gratified to be able to accept. I have been retired from medicine for almost 10 years and recently moved to the mother house of my religious community. It is a beautiful rural area on a hill we call the Mound. I, like most of us elderly, often reflect on the past. My association with Franklin Primary Health Center and my friendship with Mr. White, Mr. Buskey, the staff, and importantly, the people of Mobile, will continue and will always be a highlight in my life. Your invitation to speak at the 50-year celebration touches my heart. I will be forever grateful.
I'm very grateful for Mr. White's vision, his passion, and his dedication to this center, resulting to enormous growth over the time that he has been here, and also ability to form good affiliations with which I can give the best care for my patients. I'm so grateful for that. I have been with Franklin for 26 years, but in my current position, started as medical director, now as chief medical officer for the past 23 years. Franklin has provided employment for many people in this community. It has also served as a center for training healthcare personnel, including nurses, medical students, residents, nurse practitioners, and even physicians in transition. It has also served to help those who have nowhere else to go to get the best care available in this area. For me, memorable moments will be times that I feel that I have served my patients the best. Franklin's mission pretty much aligns with mine. However, to be fair enough, I would not have come to Franklin except for my wife, who was a special ed teacher who believed in the mission of Franklin. She actually was the one who literally brought me to Franklin. So even on my tough times, she gave me the support to stay and do what I needed to do. So I owe that to her. She is now passed, but I will never forget how she convinced me that Franklin was a good place for me to serve. Mr. White says that Franklin is his mission, and that is solidly true. He has strong passion for Franklin and for the citizens of Mobile. Happy Founders Day and 50th anniversary Franklin Primary Health. Thank you, Mr. Charles White, for your passion and dynamic leadership.
I am Dr. Cecil Parker, and I was the first medical director of the Franklin Primary Healthcare Center. I started in 1983 and served until 1986. I'm so grateful to be a part of this great and impactful work. I've been in private practice in internal medicine for 38 years. Well, I'm very honored to have worked with Charles White, and our common goal has been to provide quality health care for a low cost in the underserved community. I worked with him to expand the healthcare centers to 3 locations. We were able to add a center in Pritchett, McIntosh, and add a women's center in Mobile. We revolutionized healthcare by providing comprehensive medical care from the home visits to the hospital. I would like to congratulate Charles on extending these 3 centers to 23 centers. We're really happy for that. Over the last 50 years, Franklin has provided high-quality care at a low cost. Hearing from the patient, letting us know that we saved their life and their lives are better because of the care that we provided for them. We instilled the trust into our community, and for this, our center grew tremendously. We laid the groundwork so that the vision took action. My connection with Franklin came by fate. I moved from Baltimore, Maryland to Mobile, Alabama to fulfill my public health obligation. I met with Charles White, and we had the same zeal and enthusiasm about helping this community. His passion is incredible and one of a kind. Thank you, Charles, for your outstanding leadership and sacrifice to improve healthcare in this region. Happy Founders Day and 50th anniversary Franklin Primary Health Center.